Hi, guys, and welcome to a special edition of the Scarred Thumb podcast. Today will not be streamed live because today is Easter Sunday, when we celebrate humanity's redemption through the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And, well, I'll be doing stuff that day with my family. I'll be going to Mass and then to see my extended family, meet up at and have, food, all that wonderful stuff. I hope your Easter goes well as well. So let's get right into it. I don't really have like a topic discussion this week, but I might get to something a little later in the program. Let's just go and let's watch this trailer. This came out not too long ago. What was it, 7 days ago? I didn't cover it on last stream, so I wanted to get to it. Let's look at Marathon. Here's their official gameplay reveal from Bungie, the folks that brought us Halo. Now. It's a little bit loud on my end. Let me turn it down. Got some dudes shooting. People running. Drink of water, Wowie. Whoa, got him. What do you guys think of these visuals?
Death. The end of all things. But the dream is not over. My dream. Yours. Now.
Kind of cyberpunk. What do you think of these visuals? Sliding through a giant got a hole there they slide through. Oh my god. Oh, get stabbed. Whoa. Thanks for that suggestion, Bungie. Let's see. Alright, well, so let's take a look. People were not impressed by these visuals. I mean, and you know what? I kind of disagree. I kind of like the visuals, the style of it. I think it's gonna. I like the way they have this natural. At least in this map, they have like this natural world and this very like the contrast between the natural world and these like really saturated platforms, very square look. I like the way they clash. This very like futuristic looking landscape. The colors are super saturated in this game. I kind of like that style. I mean, you look at the colors here, lots of squares. The designs on are really weird. They almost look kind of plastic. The way everything appears on these characters. Okay, it's on HD. The real issue with this game is that it feels kind of weird to say this, but I feel like it lacks violence in a way. And I know it is like a video literally about shooting people and stabbing them, but there's just something about the violence in this game that's just lacking. I mean, like here you have this person, this like demonic looking person that's getting ready to like shoot them. And then it's just cubes.
The end of all things.
End of all things.
But the dream is not over. My dream. Yours. Now. Run.
Now I guess they're called runners. But they just they just respawn, which, every game has respawning. Some people just like choose to just leave it at that. Like I said, the violence just doesn't feel visceral enough. There's not like fear or anguish or glory or like any human emotion. It really lacks. Even the people that are supposed to be humans, which I guess they're not humans, they just don't feel human enough. There's just nothing there. No, not enough there. Of course, Bungie's a super woke company. None of the characters look. Actually, none of these characters look human, to be honest. Or if they do look human, it's barely anything. It's like blobs. Like, what is this guy? That like big blob healer guy. He's not really shaped like a person. Got this. I love this headgear here on the right side. This, I guess, is a woman of some sort. It's nothing looks. They don't look like human beings. I feel like I'm supposed to get like super excited for this. And I'm just not. I don't think a lot of people are. But like I said, there's some cool. I kind of like the visual style of it, though. Some people don't. Let's look at what people said. Dextro here coming out. But Marathon, Bungie's new will not be free to play. It has no campaign or single player, but will be cheaper than $70, similar to Concord. That's not in a comparison I don't think you really want to be making, but it doesn't have any campaign or single player. It's going to be entirely multiplayer with nothing else. And it's not free to play. It's like, I think it's going to be like $40. Marathon will be a premium title. Marathon will not be a full price title, Bungie says. Some people are guesstimating $40, but I don't know. I really don't know. Here's Stuttering Greg, I guess, linking. Let's see what Asmongold has to think about it. I think that I always go to Asmon for my takes.
It's always a bad idea to make characters that are not conventionally attractive, because this is a shooter game, and shooter games are going to be primarily played by men. So if you're making a shooter game that's primarily made for men, then you should make sure that all of the female characters in the game are fuckable. And I know this might sound crazy to say, but I'm just going to say
crazy, Asmon. I can't believe you said
that's
this.
That's what you should do.
Yeah.
I
agree with him in a sense. I don't think that's primarily the problem. Like I said, I think the characters just seem to lack humanity. There's nothing really to tie you to them or like want them to succeed or like be happy when they succeed. You don't want to become these people. They seem like lifeless husks, in my opinion. You just don't see enough of them. But like, it's just too artistic. It's too abstract. I think that's one of the issues with these games, and I think a lot of the issues now with like these leftist game publishers, they're just ashamed of making this. They're ashamed of making characters like male or female characters. They want to sort of get around it. They want to try to make characters that are beyond gender, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. There needs to be a fantasy here. And I don't think becoming a lifeless husk like Cyber Runner, even like Cyberpunk, honestly, Cyberpunk always focuses around humanity. Like what it means, all those questions, and what it means to be human, what it is to dream. A lot of those stories are very much related to humanity and like what it is to be human. In spite of the fact that like you have this sort of all this technology that's sort of disconnecting you from it. So yeah, would it be better if they're fucked? Sure it would be, but I don't think that's a primary issue. But I also think one of the things is that Bungie just can't at this point. They've gone too far. These studios are too far gone to make conventionally attractive characters. This is learning the law. And like I said, this is kind of funny. This is Bungie Oni, IP by Bungie. This is their 2001 hot anime girl, missing a lot of clothes with a giant gun and a lot of bullets. Cool. Let's see what Oh, here's her now in 2025. Fat, ugly Asian chick. Totally covered up. Just disgusting. And this is what in the actual cover art. Oh. In the actual cover art, it's like that. Still hot. Still hot. Wow. She's not that. Wow. It just, they can't make characters like this. That's why they chose, I think that's a lot of reasons why they chose to go with the sort of amorphous blob characters that look like they're made of plastic. Because this is what they do. Marathon, oh god, and this is, wait, do we really need to read this? Marathon won't have proximity chat because it'd be way too toxic. I don't think anyone has had a good solution to that yet. Let's see. We all had that moment when our eyes are open to the hijinks made possible by proximity chat. For me, it was some night, some guy in DZs drove a truck through town. I was glued to go screaming at the top of his lungs, the volume gradually rising and falling as he disappeared and rising. Ever since that formative belly laugh, it's been a treat to have a one-way niche feature of millism. Who knows what that word means? I'll have to look it up later. Make the jump to battle royales and more recently extraction shooters. Proximity chat is a modern tool for modern times, but it has downsides. Oh no. What could it be? As long as someone's standing close enough to you, you're at the mercy of whatever they have to say, whether it's friendly or downright awful until you mute them. The recipe for toxicity was potent enough for Bungie to decide that proximity chat won't make the cut in its upcoming extraction shooter marathon. Wow. When it comes to prox chat, I don't think we're against the experience of it, to be fair. Game director Joe Ziegler told PC Gamer in an interview at Bungie's Seattle studio. I think the challenge is how to make sure we're creating a safe environment for the players inside of that space. I don't think anyone has a really good solution to that just yet. My solution was stop being gay, by the way. I think it works pretty well in most situations, but you never know because we're so dedicated to making sure that we've created a safe space. Oh, what a great choice of words. Where we don't have players just flaming each other and doing terrible things to one another. I think we're not ready to invest in prox chat until we have a solution. What would the solution be? This is retarded. It is honestly retarded. Anytime you have a game that people want to play, that want to enjoy, these are challenges. They're especially when you're going as multiplayer, they're going to be hard. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get pissed off. That's, in some ways, kind of the fun of the game. You get emotionally invested. And then, yeah, you say things to other people. And when most of these people are men talking shit about each other, yeah, it's going to get heated. And they're going to say mean things. Oh, well, either A, mute the guy, or flame him back. That's just how it is. That's just how these things are supposed to work. That's one of the fun of proximity chats, to be honest. Is that you have that interaction. You have, people getting angry and then people get upset if you're playing with randoms or you're playing with friends. Friends, it's a lot of fun. Or enemies. We're saying, hey, die. You can talk shit to your enemies. It's a lot of fun. It makes it, again, we're talking about, humanity here and how this game lacks humanity. One way it could get that is to have proximity chat, have, actual people talking to each other. But again, this safe space, this shows where their values are at here as a company. And it's not good. It's pretty messed up. Let me see if I can look up. I think I saw a profile on X of Joe Ziegler here, who is the games director. Let's see if I can look it up. Let's see. All right, no, not him. Does he have an X account? Let's see. I guess not. I thought I saw his profile on X, but at one point, but I don't quite have it. Never Never mind, I couldn't find it, but it just shows you what you're going to get with Marathon. It's not good. It's not good. I don't think it's going to be a good game. I mean, just looking at the graphics, looking at the direction that they want to take this in, the people making it, it's just going to be one of those games that maybe it has some of the gameplay right, but the arts, but all the direction is going to take in a really anti-male direction. So proceed with caution if you really want to enjoy this. Extraction shooters never been my thing, so we'll see. We'll see if this ends up being a Concord-like disaster, or it'll do all right. I mean, Bungie at least has a name, and they're known for that kind of stuff, so you never know. We finally have some answers on the tariffs. Nintendo is not raising the price of the Switch too, and due to but some of the stuff, essentially some of the accessories are going to be like $5 more expensive, which is not surprising at all. Not really surprising, because when you come out and you announce the price of your console, you basically anchor that price as what people think it's worth. And people are already complaining about what they decided to do in terms of how pricey it is. People already think it's too expensive. They're already yelling lower the price for the games and the Switch. So, making the stuff $5 more expensive, I guess, was the best they could do, and then they're going to keep the price the same. And that's, all that these tariffs are going to be. It's like $5 more expensive for this, $5 more expensive than that. I mean, it sucks because you get nickel and dime, but this idea that it's going to be some sort of gigantic disaster, yeah, it's not happening. Nothing ever happens, bros, are justified yet again, as none of the Switch increases in price. It's not lowering in price either, unfortunately. So all this tariff talk, in the end, means very little. At least, I'm sure. Did they not mention Donald Trump in it at all? Which is, I'm surprised. At least Eurogamer has a little more. Let me see. Control F Trump. He had a little more. No results. Wow. Way to go, Eurogamer. If this was a PC Gamer article, 100% Trump would be mentioned like 3 times in it. And I almost tempted to kind of like search. I didn't get the but I'm not going to bother. But good for Eurogamer for not. The Trump tariffs are going to destroy the game industry. Good on them for showing a little bit. Tom Phillips, editor-in-chief, showing restraint. I'm impressed. Very impressed. Sushi Yoshida. There's probably Suhei Yoshida. There we go. Says he thinks Nintendo is losing their identity with Switch 2. This is like the former executive in PlayStation. Because it's a better Switch, the core premise of the whole Switch 2 is, make things better. That's something other companies have been doing all the time, of course. PlayStation, that was famously one of their strategies, along with Xbox. And now Nintendo's doing it too. And, I kind of agree with him. It is rare for Nintendo to not really push the edge, the envelope with its console releases, but it's something they're doing now. So, I think it's the new era. I kind of agree. I've heard people saying like, Nintendo's entering their Disney era, where they're going to play it safe and just, rely on their IP to rake in tons of money without really innovating. They might be right. They really might be right. If the Switch 2 is, it'll probably be around for like 7 years now. So this might enter an era of the Switch of Nintendo where they just don't want to innovate all that much, which is sad because they're one of the few console makers that was kind of willing to do it. But we'll see. Maybe in software they will. at least I hope we'll see some fresh innovation coming from somebody in the industry, even if it's not Nintendo. But this was a fun little article. So apparently Lords of the Fallen subreddit has banned the developers of the game from posting on it, citing fascist ideology from the CEO of CI Games. So this is Reddit, man. The CIO of CI Games, Markel Treminsky, has actively supported and promoted fascist ideology under the guise of catering the player base. As a moderating team among many gamers, we are deeply shocked and disgusted by the events of the past few weeks. Who knows what he said? In response, probably just something right wing. Removed all the CI and Hexric officials from the moderation team. However, we want to make it clear that those removed are honest and decent individuals, and we have nothing but respect for them. Every interaction we had with them since the game launch has been nothing sort of extraordinary. Unfortunately, this is a decision that affects the wrong people. Our concerns directed solely at the CEO at this time and no one else. Over the past several weeks and months, we have significantly increased in hate speech, misconduct, violations of Reddit. I love that. Love that little colloquialism. Whenever the context of these platforms are shared. Additionally, we experience an influx of users spreading fascist views. Oh no. Both on, probably just right wing again, both on the subreddit and visual mod mail. Let us be clear, we do not tolerate any violations of player rules, nor we can or support fascist ideology. Anyone engaging in such misconduct will face a permanent ban. You can find our subreddit rules here. Again, just mods on a power trip. Wow, that's really great. And already, Mark Krajinski has joined our new community-run Reddit page for Lords of the Fallen, the only subreddit that we will be supporting moving forward. Stay tuned for exclusive updates and enjoy game-focused discussion, no politics, the way gaming should be. So, what is Mark Trim? So I guess he's followed by Kabuto's Rambo. Oh, he's retweeting Gums. So that's what he did wrong. Got it. Changed the whole world design. He's retweeting Gums, so he must be a fascist. Ditching male/female for body types isn't what most players want. There's zero commercial sense to it. Sure, devs can do what they want. They're not surprised when the majority tunes out. Oh no. So he's expressing right-wing views. So again, anytime a Redditor uses fascist, they just mean right-wing. And this is why you can't have like polite discussion or trying to like meet them in the middle. All these leftists just need to be ignored or destroyed. It's really all you can do. You cannot break bread with these people because any view you have is fascist. There's no like, hey, let's be polite. Let's have a discussion. Let's, come together with our shared values, because there are no shared values between people. They can't even follow basic decency or politeness because any view, they just hate you. So why even bother? So they've already decided, hey, we're just going to have our own, we'll just make our own subreddit and make sure that left-wing mods don't take it over. So good for him. Get all the mods out. Let's see. So this is let's see. I was going to show Rage Bound, but maybe I'll wait until after this. No. Let's stop. This was funny. I was looking at this. I'm recording this pretty late at night, so I'm a bit tired too. But this is just some Rhino. This is something ShiftUp Studio. Apparently there's some article that came out that said that ShiftUp Studio / Stellar Blade director is now one of the richest people in South Korea. I guess he was in the top 50 richest people in South Korea. And then, they're bringing up Stellar Blade. Wow, what a great game. And, of course, they just ignore the fact that most of the money that ShiftUp makes, most of the money he's probably made, is from Nike Goddess of Victory, which is gotcha slop. And this really just, the thought popped in my head that so much of this like woke and like anti-woke fighting is really over like a pile of garbage. I mean, you think about stuff that's like been the center of these like culture war games. I mean, Stellar Blade was one of those ones that like, oh, it's, this is what gamers want. Or when this is what gamers want, they'll push like First Descendant, which was popular and then dropped off. It's like, again, an extraction shooter with like gotcha elements, paid skins. It's live service slop. Then you have stuff like Assassin's Creed Shadows, which is like AAA garbage, a buggy mess with a black guy in it. It had the wokeness. Like all these cultural games that pro or against it almost all are just shit. They're just shit most of the time. Like this is what people are arguing over, like this mediocre action game. And, I've never played it, so maybe it's not mediocre. How is this exciting? You're not even fighting something here. Is this part of the game? I don't give a shit. I don't need some sort of surfing. I guess is how you travel. And you killed that dude. Sweet. That looked really exciting. I'm glad you went through an entire roller coaster to kill that guy. It's probably just a mediocre action game, which it's their first game, so maybe the second one will be even better. That's a good start. Whatever. It looks nice. It's just like, wow. Yeah, let's argue our lives over like some of the worst gaming has to offer. Really, it is just a trash heap. But I don't know. Maybe we'll expand on that later as we look. I'm just thinking of like all like the latest culture, like games that sort of like become battlefields for the culture. We're like, oh, Star Wars Outlaws, what a great game that was. People were so excited on it. It did so well. I'm trying to think like the anti-woke ones where like it was like Stellar Blade gets posted so much, like First Descendant gets posted a ton. I've never played this Lords of the Fallen, but good on him. Who knows? It's not worth it. Let me tell you about a good game here. This is called Kill Knight. And I saw some people recommending because it was on sale for like $8. But it's a game that, I just, even after playing it for an hour, you're like, oh yeah, this game's good. And these games, they're so simple. There's a purity to them. Because like all this is just pure combat. There's no story. There's no cutscenes. The second you hit play, like you can choose your equipment before you go in, and then from there, you're just fighting shit the entire time. It takes place in this one sort of arena. Then it'll change, and that's it. That is it. It's great. It's fantastic. You don't need to worry about it at all. And like it, to sort of explain the game, like here you see me shooting, and then you see this like bar that just appeared. The reload bar. Basically, that's like timed. I don't know if I can pause. Let me see if I can pause it at the right time. So that reload bar that shows up gives you have a few options here. You can hit your shot button again, your handgun button again to power up your handguns. You could hit your sword button, and basically what the sword does is one, it kills people in melee, obviously, but it refills your special weapon, or like your heavy weapon is what it's called. So if you do it right here, you're going to fill up your entire heavy weapon ammo, which the heavy weapon is just like a more powerful weapon with limited shots. The gun I have right now is like 4, and you usually use that to dispatch the bigger foes, because it's all about killing the stuff quick before they do damage to you, and you want to keep that counter in the top right screen that says 30, 1.5 times. You get better scores, and I think it increases your damage and movement speed. Or you could hit your charge button, and like there's like an R1 button, and that absorbs these sort of crystals, which I just did right there, which give you like a special shot. And these green orbs, when you do that sort of special shot, these green orbs drop from the stuff you killed, and that gives you health. So you can restore your health doing that. But it's a very limited resource. And you got to recharge it again. So they balance it really well. And like all the weapons you get, you can unlock stuff. There's a little bit of progression in that sense, but the stuff isn't any better, than or at least they don't really appear better than any one of the other. It's not like here you just unlock better weapons. They do different things. Like the guns I'm using right now start slow and they get better as the longer you shoot them. So it really encourages you to empty your entire clip, which it usually do most of the time anyway. Right now I'm kind of like out of special weapons. I'm just trying to restore some health. It's just really, it's so, I don't want to call the game simple because there's a lot like going on in terms of the gameplay, but really like these games they're so like just pure gameplay, pure in this case, like it's just combat. There's no story, there's no cutscenes, there's no nothing like that. It just, here's the game. The game is just essentially like a combat system and enemy designs. It's super simple. You know, it's not like Monster Hunter where you have to like hunt the monster. There's a storyline, there's missions. It's just pure action from start to finish in each run. I love that kind of purity in these games. It's just pure gameplay. Nothing else, nothing to take you from it, as you just constant action. And of course, you know, like I said, as you go through these levels, the arena just sort of shifts and changes. You got these sort of stage hazards that move, or lasers, or different enemies. So there's a lot of variety in terms of the challenges, because there's a lot of there's like small chaff enemies, some that shoot stuff out, some that just, you know, attract you and want to hit you with the melee attack. It's a lot more complicated than it first appears, but it just has these simple elements that combine to create a really deep system. I've only played this for, I think maybe at this point like 7 or 8 hours, but it just feel like you get more out of your time when you're playing this, because time isn't spent. Like I just started playing Okami, and like the first hour is just boring as hell. You're just listening to story the entire time. And like maybe you walk around, you solve a puzzle. It's really similar in terms of gameplay to Zelda. But there's a lot of traveling around, solving puzzles, and combat's kind of like something that happens, but it's fairly rare. Just so much of your time spent doing nothing and just like looking around. And that's, I mean, if you like that sort of game, sure. But I've really been enjoying getting into the games like this that are just pure combat, just pure action all the time, every time. There's just something to them that it just feels like this is the way gaming should be. Something just pure and simple. There's nothing else. It's just all it is the gameplay. That's Kill Knight. If you haven't tell, I recommend it. I think it's like normal price $14, but you know, wishlist it. It's probably going to go on sale for half off fairly soon anyway. It's just a fun indie game. Kill Knight, baby. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Next game, yeah, I'll give you 2 games because, you know, we could fill that hour. This is Fubuki. Like, Jesus, get this shit out of here. We don't need to see the news. This is called Fubuki Zero In on Hollow Earth. Fubuki's a Hololive character, which is a VTuber. And this game at first kind of looked like it might be a cool like action game, like a Ninja Gaiden-esque action game. And well, Hololive, I have no really like love for it or hate for it. It just seems like that's like these virtual idol type of VTubers, which is fine. Honestly, I'll probably talk about it more in depth maybe next week or some other time. But I think it's a good idea to use these sort of characters. If you're like a guy that wants to make a game, maybe you're not good at character design. Maybe you don't want to tell a story, which is fantastic. I think people that want to like tell a story with video games end up making bad video games. I would 10 times rather a guy that just like, I've got a cool idea for a video game. I don't really have a story or setting or any of that other bullshit, but like, this is a cool gameplay concept, I'd rather have them make games. And you know what? Use something like HoloLive. Use something like Toho. You know, these like fan games that, like, one, it instantly gives you like recognition, because people will see these characters and they'll know it. They'll either like recognize it from somewhere else if they're not big HoloLive fans, or if they're big HoloLive fans or Toho fans, they'll give your game a second look. And not to mention with HoloLive, I'm sure this character Fubuki will play the game on stream, which instantly gets you like a very receptive audience that, you know, simp for your HoloLive character. And if she likes it, well, and it looks like it's fun for them to play, they're going to buy it. So you just get so much out of it. And then you don't have to think about characters. You don't have to think about characters. You already have characters. You can put other virtual idols in the game. And you have like basic settings and stuff. You know, they throw in like some of like their fan representations as characters. So it just all works out. It's just a good for like a lot of people that just want to make games and don't really care that much about, you know, setting and story. Like making that their own, stuff like this can really work out and, you know, get you a lot of recognition. Now, as far as the game goes, honestly, I think it ends up being kind of boring. It looked really like it had promise at first, but one of the issues with the game is that in terms of like what they want to use as difficulty, so much of it is basically, I don't think I have the harder version of this game recorded here, but to make it harder, he just like this game maker just decided like, hey, I'll just make everything shoot bullets in a game that's basically about basically the character uses a sword, but at that point in the harder difficulties you just have to rely on the sword beam. The easiest way to do it is just use the charged sword beam. The character designs are very basic, or we have like kind of some of it where they just, you know, shoot out stuff at you. A lot of the stuff's blockable. Some of these bigger bullets are not, but most of it is. Most of you can just block by flailing with your sword. I'm still kind of getting used to the controls here. Let me see if I can. I want to show you. Like this is one of the mini bosses. Probably the worst fight in the game. This kind of shows you like the level of the character design. So basically, this snake like flies around. It at least has a set pattern, but it shoots out. It shoots out these fireballs, and basically, like all this character does, which is like the mascot of this of one of the HoloLive members, just like runs at you, and like a kind of like a random like chase. That's what most enemies do, is they just sort of like chase you around, this sort of like lazy chase algorithm, and come at you while bullets everything's fired at you, which is kind of one of the things in like bullet hells that they tell you like not to do, is don't make everything just a tracking shot. And like look how much life this thing has. It has so much life. I haven't taken half its life away. You have to constantly fight this thing. I don't know if I died of this thing at first or not. I think I might. No. It just takes this is the kind of like, the character design sucks. Or enemy design, I should say, not character design. The characters are all pretty recognizable. So they do what they do, is they need to function, but there's even some worse character design. Let me see if I can find or enemy design, I should say. I mean, like, in the bosses, they're kind of like Mega Man-esque in a way. They have a few attacks that sort of run at you, but mostly they just jump around very randomly and use attacks. They're not very interesting. And again, this character has like so much life. This is even on an easy setting. It has like way too much life. You're just spending most of your time just constantly attacking it. And I don't like the fact that a lot of these summons, or even this gun, the sub-weapons themselves, just recharge really quickly. So you the ideal is to just spam the crap out of them, but you also want to spam the crap out of your summon, your gun, and then at the same time you're like trying to like charge your sword to throw a sword beam out. It just constant attacks. There's almost like no sense to it. The whole combat system just isn't super interesting. Let me see if I can find what are these other stages. Let's see. A lot of these characters just have like 3 attacks. It's nothing. It's nothing great. Let's see. Hold on. Oh yeah, this is. Look at this great fight here. Or just a guy throwing out a giant thing that's again kind of tracks your movement, and then just comes back. No, this is so great. He just floats around essentially and throws stuff out. It's super cool and interesting. Let me see. There's the other version of it too. This one has a giant ice sword and then drops icicles on you, and then shoots stuff at you. Wow, this is so exciting. It's really disappointing. There's so little, and this is kind of a bad point of fan games, like games based on characters, Hololive characters or Toho characters. This will probably sell way more than it deserves. Just because it has Hololive characters in it. So I mean, this fight is just, one, it's ugly, and two, it just isn't exciting. Again, they have like everything, stuff that like tracking shots on you, and then this like very basic attack, just giant hitbox that, and then again more stuff that again every shot here that comes out of him is tracking to you. Then I'll have like these falling ice, which I guess are kind of supposed to control space or shut you out of space. But almost none of this stuff, it doesn't do it that well. It all seems just so random the way he sort of floats back and forth. There's supposed to be something like interesting, but again, this is a game with a character with a sword. And you have to just constantly just spam. It feels like you constantly have to spam your charge slash at range. Because, again, you have this giant hitbox that just floats around randomly. How are you supposed to get close to that? While a million things just sort of like fly at you. So you have to constantly spam. It's really just good to just spam attacks because your sword eats up all these attacks. It's not. Overall, it just ends up being kind of a bland game with the combat system just isn't interesting. The enemy design isn't interesting. This is like the final stage where they have these weird platforming elements that just don't really fit the game. But I mean, the game itself isn't really a good combat game either. So it's not a good platforming game either. It's really kind of awkward. The whole thing feels a little bit half-baked. I mean, if this is like a small developer and or just a small dev or a small team, I mean, good for them. It's playable. It looks all right. I think the graphics are okay though. Even on the graphics, they have like way too much. I think they have way too much going on a lot of these scenes, like especially the winter. Where's the winter one again? They have like all this stuff like in the foreground, in the background. A lot of this stuff's kind of hard to see in a lot of these stages, like what's going on in the foreground versus what's going on in the background. At least with these shots, they give him like a nice red outline. He doesn't do that in a lot of this stuff. A lot of it's kind of like hard to recognize and see what's going on. Not to mention you have your own attacks, so it just ends up being like a mess. I don't know if there was a scene where I could really like show off like what's going on with all this stuff. It's like the final boss of the game, and this one, the final boss at least has a lot more interesting patterns. So it looks like there was like a decent work put into this fight, But they really needed to do more of it for the rest, because a lot of the stuff just doesn't feel that great. So that's Fubuki Hollow Zero. It's like a $10 game. So it's like, at the same time, it's like, all right, it's not great, but I didn't have to invest a lot in it. I think it was like on sale. I think it was like 11 something, and normal price is like $12 or $13. So it's not a crazy expensive game. It's almost like on the level of a fan game, but at the same time, I took time to play it. So to have like a mediocre game, is it worth my time? I'd almost say no. That's kind of how I felt. It just wasn't like atrociously bad. It was okay. And that, in some ways, maybe that's even worse. It's just bland. For it to be bland, I even tried to like play it on higher levels to see if it was more difficult, but like I said, all the difficulties, the stuff does more damage, and they add more like bullets that, again, all they do is track you. There's nothing like, let me shut down some space type of projectiles and then like make you dodge in a confined area. There's nothing like that. There's just not enough thought put into it. And it's kind of sad. So don't recommend this game, this Fubuki, whatever it's called, Fubuki Zero In on Hollow Earth, unless you're a super Fubuki Hollow Live fan. Then maybe you don't care that it's not a great game itself. You don't want to play it for the fun of the Hollow Live girls. But that's it. And I mean, let's look at this. Let's look at this Ragebound trailer. When you look at this, like, I won't show it all. You can watch it, but like, look what Fubuki has here with like some of its combat. Nowhere near as exciting as what you see here. You can bounce off enemies. Everything really visceral, I mean. And they have hit stop. You can kind of see like the hit stop on like these big hits that really make this stuff feel meaty. I mean, this looks like a really exciting game. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully it's really action packed. Has a lot of, and a decent challenge too. This looks like a fun game. It's a very, very good looking game too. Ragebound. Looks good. I'm excited for that. I'll definitely, it's coming this summer or something? Do they mention summer 2025? I'm looking forward to it. So Donkey, a lot of games are coming out there, so hopefully I'll be available to play it. I'm not playing Donkey Kong or some other Switch game. Or maybe even a Steam game, you never know. But guys, that is it for this stream. Well, not really stream, I guess video. Hope you enjoy your Easter. Look forward to being back again next Sunday for the live presentation. But I hope you enjoyed the Scar Thumb podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. Hopefully we'll get to 700 pretty soon. And I'll see you next week. Goodbye now.